They taped a lien notice to my front door on a Tuesday morning, right next to my kids' chalk drawings. For $1,000 in fines, they said, over a garden gnome and grass that was an inch too tall. My name is Courtney, and I want you to understand exactly how a homeowners association tried to steal my house. 6 months earlier, none of this seemed possible, because Maple Crest Estates looked like a postcard, quiet and green. I'd saved for 11 years to buy that little 3-bedroom, and I loved every crooked shingle on the roof. Then Deborah Whitlock became HOA president, and the whole neighborhood learned what fear tasted like. Deborah wore pearls to mow her own lawn, if you can believe that, and she ruled the board like a queen. My first violation letter came for leaving my trash bin out 4 hours past the approved window. A $50 fine, laughable, except it arrived with a warning. Further violations will escalate rapidly. I laughed it off, paid it, and figured Deborah just liked her rules. Didn't everyone know an HOA Karen? 2 weeks later, a letter cited my son's garden gnome as an unapproved decorative structure violating community aesthetics. I pointed out 3 other houses had gnomes, flamingos, even a plastic unicorn nobody ever find. Deborah's reply was ice. Selective enforcement is a myth, Courtney. I simply notice things you don't. That sentence should have scared me more than it did. I was about to learn how much she noticed. The fines multiplied fast. Grass height, mailbox paint, a wind chime, disturbing communal tranquility. Whatever that meant. Every appeal I filed vanished into a board mailbox that Deborah alone controlled, unanswered for weeks. Twist 1. I discovered she'd quietly rewritten the bylaw's appeal deadline, shrinking it from 30 days to 7. Nobody voted on that change. She'd simply clarified language in an email nobody read closely enough. By month 3 my fines topped $2,000, and a certified letter mentioned the word lien for the first time. I started keeping every letter, every photo, every timestamp, in a folder labeled simply evidence. My neighbor Frank, retired postal worker, warned me over the fence. She did this to the Alvarez family too. The Alvarezes had sold their house at a loss last year rather than keep fighting Deborah's fines. That's when the funny part happened. Deborah fined herself by accident. Forgetting her own gnome collection violated her rule. She simply issued herself a waiver in writing, and I quietly photographed the email on the community portal. Twist 2. That waiver had her signature dated the same week she claimed board meetings weren't happening due to quorum issues. If there was no quorum, no meeting, then how did she authorize fines at all? The whole fine structure was void. I brought that question to a lawyer named Priya, who specializes in HOA abuse cases pro bono for veterans and retirees. Priya's eyes lit up reading my folder. This isn't just harassment, Courtney. This might be fraud. She explained Deborah had been depositing special assessment fees into an account not listed on any HOA financial report. $18,000, collected from 6 different families, all funneling into an account with Deborah's maiden name on it. I felt sick and thrilled at once. Sick for my neighbors, thrilled because Deborah had finally overreached. The lien notice on my door was her last big swing, meant to scare me into silence or selling. Instead, I mailed Priya's demand letter the same afternoon, citing invalid meetings, forged waivers, and missing funds. Deborah's response came fast, furious, and reckless. She threatened to make an example of me at the next open meeting. That meeting, packed with furious neighbors I'd quietly gathered evidence alongside, was the dominoes finally falling. Twist 3. Frank had recorded Deborah admitting on tape that she adjusted enforcement based on who annoyed her most. The recording, plus Priya's financial audit, went straight to the County Consumer Protection Division and the state HOA regulator. Deborah stood at that podium insisting she'd always acted within her authority. Her voice cracking on the word authority. A resident stood up holding printed bank statements and simply asked, "Then why is my assessment in your maiden name?" The room went dead silent, then erupted, and Deborah's own board members voted her out before the meeting even ended. Weeks later, the county filed embezzlement charges, and the lien against my house was voided, erased, gone. Deborah was ordered to repay every stolen dollar, plus damages, and barred from serving on any HOA board again. My son still has his garden gnome, prouder than ever, sitting exactly where Deborah once called it a crime. Frank brings lemonade over now, and we laugh about the woman who tried to steal a house over grass height. Justice tastes better than any settlement check. Deborah lost her crown, and Maplecrest finally got its peace back.